Hello YouTube, welcome to the 5th episode of a daily self-watch review on risk management. This time again with Sojourn. You're gonna analyze a game on the new map. Let's see how it goes.
We're in this together.
Oh, that was wrong button, sorry. Yeah! Losing control. Reduce the timer. So, we have your Hammond, which means I cannot just roll out through main with my tank. I need to kinda get in position when he slams and then go for it, or stay safe with my team and go in with my team. So my two options. So this time I decided to actually go in a flank, because I actually like getting the first high ground on this point. That's something I'm experimenting with currently. But my ball slammed here, so this is where I stopped, and I'm trying to shoot with my ball. Alternative would be to walk with my team, which is honestly roughly on the same angle. So I could also pressure the Genji from here. No Genji, and would pressure a Master from here. What did we do instead? Let's see. Did we get any value from this side? So it's kind of bad execution. I want to have the orb right when where the ball slams. So a little bit earlier, a little bit faster. It should have been better executed. But the idea itself isn't too bad, unless the thing is now it worked out because there were no enemies here on this high ground. So if there are enemies, they hear me coming, they can go here and shoot me solo basically, without my team being able to help me. This is the risk that I'm taking here. So that's already a risky play, the first fight, before even scouting the enemies, and that is bad, okay? So even though this play might be good, might have worked out in the end, I kinda want to play the safe route first, which would place somewhere where my supports can support me, where my other DPS has a line of sight. Like, imagine this Widow wants to help me now. What's she going to do? Like, yeah, well, your soldier is dying. Good luck, Widow, doing anything, right? So if I play here, then of course she can alleviate pressure from me. Like, if I go to cover, they can push me. Widow's covering my back. Here instead, I have nothing. So that is the first mistake, that I did not understand what the safe route is, basically. So if I have a tank like Doofus, like Ball, like Winston, I might consider not going in with them, but going in with my tank.
Maximum firepower, good effect.
Yeah, I think I shouldn't be AFK and wait for the orb. There is another route I can go. I have no idea what I was thinking. Like, my brain just died randomly in between, okay? I'm an idiot, sorry. So this is kind of okay. You can try to poke and stuff, just be a little bit more careful. And I could have dropped even earlier, so I was up there a little bit longer than I should have, I feel like. Of course, if Sojourn randomly shoots a railgun and Genji hits one headshot, then I'm still dead, right? So now my tank is fighting and I'm not contributing anything, and why? Because I'm someone random on the side. Honestly, I'm not sure what I should have done here, because he's actually so far forward that I really do not know what to do here. So this is all kinda very pointless. Because regardless of how good I play or what I do, we will still not push the payload at this moment. Why? Because we are 4 on 5. We will never win this. We're just trading resources, and the enemies have one player more to trade, so they will win this trade. So this is really stupid. I need to go back. I feel like it was, especially with a wrecking ball, it really feels very disconnected, the gameplay from me and my tank. Like you cannot tunnel vision at all with a wrecking ball. Here I'm with my team, staying safe because I'm low on the HP. It's a little bit too far forward to be on low HP without cover. So I really don't have the luxury to actually hunt for targets now. I can only shoot what's in front of me, which is honestly only an Orisa or a Genji with cooldowns, which is really bad. And then again, I think this was too far forward, right? So... Oh man, but this is really awkward to play. So I kind of need a flank here, so I really don't get any value from here whatsoever. And to get value, then I overextend around this corner to get something, but this is suiciding, right? Look where I died. This is no way to play, right? This is... I don't even know why I walk around this corner even. Like, I'm just suiciding harder for no reason. I cannot even get healed now. So either play safe from back here with bad targets, or I decide, okay, I need to get better value. So if I look down the top left, how can I get better value? Well, one thing is charging my railgun and then trying to kill something with railgun and orb. Okay. So charging railgun on Orisa is easy, but then where do I go? I could go left side. That would actually give me quite an easy angle here, right? So I really should consider checking my close range angles first, like just shooting here, checking once, and then decide. Or do the same on the right side, like shooting here, during reload, just shortly peek, and I see already from here, oh, there's a Moira, maybe I can get something done here. Right? I can even actually overextend to here, get some greed going on, but save my slide to get out. Like, brrrr, slide out. It's kind of bad because I'm bad at sliding out backwards. I always need to turn my camera and slide because I'm a bronze player basically at heart. So something I would need to train in some moment, but maybe not now. Okay. So again, if I go into a cloak like this and I just feel like there's literally nothing I can do because I don't have any targets I can actually shoot, then maybe I should really consider not using orbs and stuff, but go for an off-angle play instead. So again, why do I need off-angle here? Because it's a very narrow cloak, basically. Okay. And we don't have a tank that provides me easy access to the targets I can actually kill. But honestly, also there are no targets I can actually kill. So this is a really awkward enemy team for me, I would say. Like, I cannot just pressure a target continuously. They all have abilities to escape, but I also cannot pressure the horse. She has too many evasive defensive abilities. So I'm a little bit lost here. And it really shows. But I honestly think I could have gotten more value in this fight, and I would have gotten more value. My main tank didn't need to switch. He could have played his main, and we could have still won. But instead we traded maybe a good wrecking ball, could trade it for a bad horse. So, and now of course the enemy horse, who seems to be a horse main, now of course will outvalue my tank, because it didn't allow my tank to play his value stuff. And now I go for this flank, for the same reasons.
Hold it. This ends now. That's one.
So I actually get a lot of value here. Yeah, maybe it's okay. So how many ults did we use? Widow ult. He could had an easy flank because of Widow ult. I do not think that the window here was kinda good. Because honestly, there's no reason for the enemy tank to be here. The enemy tank shouldn't hold this corner, the enemy tank can just hold this corner. Like we did before, and then it's really awkward for us to push past it. Because the thing is, as defender, like you want to just stall for time, right? So as defender, you just want to survive as long as possible. You don't even care so much about winning the team fight. You care about losing as slowly as possible, basically. So as defender, you don't need to win the team fight. You just need to survive long enough, and then you waste enough time of the enemies, right? And if the car is here in the choke, and then kinda you can stay here alive very good. And if the enemies come from this door or from here, you can punch them very, very easily with horse because they are very much in your range. So I think this window only worked because enemy horse overextended for no reason whatsoever. So that's my explanation why I would not expect this window there or the usual that. I think my ult here was okay, so I went for a risk ult, but there was Widow ult going on and I had my own ult, so there was kind of some support for this play. Wasn't too terrible. It was of course a little bit over the top together with the window. In the sense that if I could have just distracted enemies from this angle, I didn't need to kill them. Because if the enemy healers need to turn around and run away, then the enemy tank will die to the window as well. Right, so this would also have worked. So I could have not used my ultimate and still win this team fight. So there was bad coordination with Baptiste. Here again, I really don't know what to attack here. I can only see the Orisa. It's providing me really bad. Like, I don't know what to shoot here, honestly. Like, the thing is, I find something to shoot, but look at my position. Where am I? I'm in the middle of nowhere during the entire fight. Just to get some value at all. So I'm eating damage for breakfast here in this case and just hope my supports can out-heal it, but that's of course not a way to play. I thought I had my jump ready, but it wasn't ready. Now I jump up, but it's too late, and so basically try to do again the same thing as that worked on last choke. Wait for my team to go main, and then... But I waited for no reason for too long here. And then I went in here. I could have actually C9'd them, I think they would not have noticed. A little bit. Okay. So that was of course completely garbage play from my side. Like I escaped from the fight at some random timing, there was AFK on the high ground and whatever, so this was really awkward to play for me.
To adjust my approach.
But from this type of main tank play and the enemy team composition, I would say that some form of off-angling is actually required. I don't think that playing on main with my team is a way to win here. Because the thing is that they will pick you, then the enemies can choose when they want. So the difference between playing on main and playing on off-angle is that if you're playing on main, the enemies choose when they peek you. If you play on off-angle, you decide when you peek them, basically. So... But if the enemies pick you, that means they are ready for it. They have deflect, they have Orisa abilities, they have their fate available. So you might find yourself struggling to actually execute something completely. But the upside is, the resources, they need to use resources that are finite. They have only one deflect for 10 seconds. Well, no, I think it's not 10 seconds. What is the cooldown of deflect? 8 seconds maybe? I have no idea. Maybe 6 seconds. Like Orisa is a good one. She has 2 cooldowns plus the spear that can also reduce the incoming damage, so Orisa can stay for a really long time. But still, even pressuring Orisa might mean that the enemy Mercy can damage boost. She needs maybe to heal then more. Yeah. But I feel like the enemies are a little bit too good at trading frontline resources. So I don't think that going frontline resources is the way to go here. So I go for a flank here with my Orisa, but my team has trouble following. So this is of course optimal for me. I go in with my tank, and the tank goes where I would like to go. So we can attack something that is not an Orisa. But I hesitate to follow my Orisa here for no good reason actually. I should have dived Genji Hardcore and orbed him. And now instead I slide aggressively in. Why did I slide in? There was no reason for me to slide in. I should have... No, that wasn't it. Could have stayed back. There was no reason to go in here. So I kind of need to get used of trying to get value without actually going hardcore in. The funny thing is I just did a Tracer Watch review where I said the opposite. Like, the Tracer was playing on long range and then didn't go in, and then she had less damage than she could have. So she needed to blink in to get damage and then recall out, and I need to do the opposite. I'm going in too fast for no reason. Like, the difference is, if I have my cooldowns available, I'm allowed to take greedy positions because I have a safety net behind me. So if I go in somewhere, but I find, oh, the angle is too hardcore, I will die here, I can slide out. But if I slide into a hardcore angle and I find myself, oh, the angle was bad, then I'm dead. I just die. And that's why it feels like with slide I can play more aggressive. It's exactly the opposite. It's exactly the opposite. If I don't use slide, I can play more aggressive because I have my safety behind me. But that's something I have to kind of get the correct order in my brain. That as long as the orb is not increasing aggression, it's decreasing aggression because I need to live with a bad orb. But if I go on a hardcore flank and I throw in an orb and I have my slide, then I can do really bonkers stuff and they cannot punish me easily. Like, imagine, like, I can teleport anywhere on the map. Where do I go? Well, for example, I could teleport to here. And now imagine I would have Railgun, Orb, and Slide available, and I'm in this position. Like, even though I'm 1 versus 4, I can nearly guarantee that I can get a kill on either Mercy or Junkrat. Right? orb and shoot at the Mercy. As soon as she flies somewhere to escape, I slide behind and kill her. But the thing is, I don't need to do it. I can shoot them, poke them, get attention, and then I can slide either into this cave, or can slide around here. And it gets really awkward for the enemy to follow me. Like, of course they will catch me at some moment, but they have to pay for it. It's not for free. Because my team is, of course, doing stuff while I'm doing this as well. Or imagine I could teleport to here. Like, now imagine I'm at this position and have no cooldowns. Yeah, well, then I'm looking at this pillar and not allowed to do anything. But now imagine I actually have all cooldowns. Well, I just drop on the Mercy, just execute her, and slide out to my team. Maybe I die, but I've traded already 1 for 1. But there is a high chance actually survive, because if I slide towards my horse, there's 1 spear and I'm safe, 1 wall and I'm safe, right? So with cooldowns, it looks much more sane going for such aggressive positions than without cooldowns. That's my point. My point is not that this is a good position to be in. My point is that cooldowns would allow me to get really bonkers positioning without getting punished. Because imagine I have cooldowns and I just shoot from here at the horse and then Genji dashes up. Yeah, well, I have my orb and place it right at my feet. And then he has to. Then he's in this narrow cave inside the orb and then he either drops and forfeits the fight and I can go away. Or he needs to get through my orb and dash to. But then he doesn't have the dash cooldown or whatever. He needs to suffer for it to go through it. Because I have my cooldowns. So, and this is why I have it kind of backwards in my brain. I kind of throw an orb and slide in the fight just to increase aggression, but actually I don't increase aggression. I reduce it because I remove my ability to be aggressive myself as a person with my primary fire. Kind of like this kill. Also like this kill.
Precision and control.
Okay.
60 seconds.
Well, it was just a cleanup after the window, of course. And that was an easy opportunity with the window presented by my team. But these opportunities arise. If you just play with your team, you will get them from time to time. Not sure what this wall was. Again, why do I slide here? What was the slide? I understand the orb. Push them out of this cover so I can shoot them for free. Because, so if I'm here with my team, I'm in safety. I have 2 choices. Either I don't use orb and I go on a physical flank myself, but then I need to worsen my position in terms of safety. Or I throw in an orb and force enemies out of cover and then they have the same problem, right? So now they cannot stand behind the pillars, they need to rotate either out here, which makes them open to the left side, or, yeah, well, only left side is open now. So I wish I would have thrown it kind of 1 meter further behind. So maybe like here, like where Moira's foot is, then it would cover the entire backside. Would have been a little bit better, but that's minor, right? But why did I slide? Why did I slide? Now imagine I would have my slide available now. If I would have my slide now, they use Genji Blade and Moira ult, I can actually just slide onto the junk retire onto Anna and try to execute the Anna. Maybe there's a chance to kill the Anna and then I just trade with her. I get more ult charge from it and it doesn't get ult charge. You know? Just small things, then a little bit ult charge would be good. But instead I get nothing from this death. I could have gotten something, but I didn't. Okay, here I need to touch, basically. And that's the thing. Actually, from watching this replay, I feel like we didn't really lose too many teamfights, right? But the thing is, we didn't win them fast enough. They just wasted so much time. We needed to win them faster. I have no idea what I'm doing. Meet your fate. Yeah. Or just a random fight. Like, I feel like I also wasn't very focused. Kinda, yeah. It was a terrible execution by me. I wasn't there, kind of. Ready for battle. Okay. I have an Orisa on low ground. And some spam team, like Torbjorn, Anna, Baptiste, they can all just shoot on long range. And yeah, so that should be the goal. I kinda like to also defend the flank on the side here. Sometimes a little bit. I'm not sure yet if this is correct or not. So the thing is, if I'm here and I hear someone's coming up the stairs, like this is in hearing range, right? I hear the steps. Should I go around here and try to defend it, being isolated from a team maybe? But honestly, I shouldn't be isolated, right? I have my supports, I have Torbjorn turret. I should be fine here. Like, just shoot them a little bit. But the thing is about defending flanks is, if there's a Gantry, he wants to dive you, and you do 50 damage on this Gantry, so he's down 50 HP, he will not dive you anymore, usually. So which means Gantry will then go back and poke from distance, reducing his value. And there's actually not too much difference of killing the Gantry and removing him from the flank. So I do not need to kill Gantry, I can shoot him a little bit, so he gets damaged, and get back to my team nearly for free, because it's easy for them to heal me. There's not much thing to do, like heal once and then continue whatever she's doing. But for Genji, he maybe needs to, maybe he uses HP, he uses deflect, maybe he uses dash, he wastes time, of course. He's more of an ult-based character, so he's on a timer to get his ult, but he also needs to get all the way back to his healers, or this health pack. So he wastes even more time than I waste, so that's a win for me. As I said, losing teamfights slowly is a key to win this type of maps. And that's why kind of defending the flank means not going for a 1-on-1 on the flank, but actually just wasting the time there. But I decided to drop because I want to try to play behind my tank. The error is, the Ramatra says, now you see your error. Now you see your error. The problem is, I'm not behind my tank, I'm in front of my tank. And where is the cover? Right? Where is it? I'm in the center of the road. So I really need to play cover better, honestly. I also feel like playing this corner is kind of awkward because I'm not really playing this corner, right? I'm in the center of the road. I need to find a corner that's closer to my face. Like maybe this corner would be better, right? It's the exact same angle. You see this? It's the exact same angle, but it's a better distance for me. Because also, bigger distance usually also means you kinda... so there's of course this thing of distance is depending on characters. Like if you have like an Ashe fighting against Genji, you want to, as Ashe, you want to fight over long ranges, as Genji you want to fight over closer ranges. But it's also, like, increasing the range usually also kind of reduces the incoming damage. It makes teamfights slower. So playing from range makes teamfights usually slower. And so as a defending team, of course, you can say, oh no, then I play spam, but then you are not really contesting with the payload, right? So it's kind of, need to find a balance. But just in general, instead of playing right here in their face, which would mean I can maybe burst one down fast and easy, I kind of want to win or lose the teamfight slow, so I should play further back in general. And that is maybe also one thing that I kind of really need to consider. That I tend to think of risk of being closer or further away. But I can also sometimes get the same value from being further away. What was that? There was an awkwardly slow alignment with the Mega House pack before I slid. Now we just want to get back as good as can, because my teammates are in front. Why am I staying so far in the front? Really, I could have taken cover back here or cover here. Why did I stay here in the center? So really cover usage. So like my perception of when I need to take risk is kind of skewed because I play the wrong distance and I play cover wrong. So kinda I need to implement some cover and distance training. So maybe I will train cover usage today as again. Like play safe behind your tank, but just use cover. Because don't forget, carrying has two sides. One thing is you do more, but the second thing is you do the same but using less resources. It's also carrying. Like if you have 20 million damage, but you need both supports and your tank cooldowns just to stay alive, and then you take all resources from your team, so of course you should do all the damage from your team. I pressed the wrong button again, sorry. I mean, this is of course easy now because the fight's already won. So we have won this fight out of safety, right? How did we win this fight? Let's check again. Okay, the enemy is overextended here. And that's one thing. Usually I would have went and died to the payload, but because of I skipped back, I allowed the enemies to make mistakes, and they actually made these mistakes and they died for it. So we're now 5-3 now, so this wasn't a clear win. Okay, okay. Understand. So there's nothing I did good or bad, it's enemies overextended, basically. They keep staggering, there's nothing impressive to watch because the enemies are just staggering. So one thing I really don't understand is why my teammates now play here. What has changed? Like in the first fight, they contest this area, but now they don't. Why? What has changed? Like, are we really so afraid of C9 that we need to be back here? Is there even a route behind here somewhere that they could use to C9 as easy? No, I think the fastest route is still through here. It's this wall. As long as a turret covers this wall, we are good. And this turret covers this wall. So if Genji peeks there, he needs to cross the wall. We hear him. We have maybe a Torp, maybe an Anna, maybe an Baptiste, somewhere here, somewhere around this area, some maybe even here, so they can support in this direction. Should be an easy hold. We do not need to be so far in the back. But my tank wants to hold further front, but kind of my teammates don't want him to, because as I said, Baptiste and Anna and Torp kind of want to spam on the enemies before the enemies are close, right? So they want to spam on the shield with the entire team, but look how many players can actually shoot there. No one can shoot there, right?
This ends now.
I'm using it because enemies use cooldowns. And I'm afraid of the ult from Ramatra. So here I fell back too far. Why did I need to fall back so much? Actually, I think I didn't need to. I could play this, continue to play this corner. And if I want more safety, I should go around this corner in the back, but then I'm isolated from my supports. So actually, I should go up here, honestly. Because I can drop to my support if they need to, but still cover the same angles. Okay. But I could have played down there. Exactly, Ramatra ult is the one thing I wanted to avoid. So he was a call, there's a Mei behind, so thereby I kind of went back. Thank you, Baptiste. Too aggressive. Clearly too aggressive. Yeah, that was a throw. I just went in for no reason.
Come on, Vivian. Get yourself together.
Stay near the immortality field.
Taking damage. Thanks.
Vielleicht mit Schluss, das ist Payload. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm aiming at or what I'm thinking, because there was some sequences where I'm really not doing anything. I think I'm reading my chat, honestly. I'm sure I'm reading my chat. I really don't underestimate how much focus it costs to read messages during gaming. I think that's what's happening here. I'm not really focused good enough. Don't know what this was. Yeah, so the end of this map is a little bit awkward. I don't know what was going on. Maybe I had tactical problems. I really do not remember. Even though it was only yesterday. But that's just a streamer syndrome. So if you review your own games, you should have better time. It's just interacting with your stream and focusing on learning requires its own training to be able to do it simultaneously, right? So it's yeah. Here I want to go on a flank, but the enemies also want to go on a flank, and here throw the game again. So basically I will go for a flank for no reason and I get punished for it. So I should really be glad for the enemies that they punished me here. But that was clearly a mistake. I think just burning my entire ult into D.Va is good enough. Because without tank they cannot succeed here as well. And my team wasn't pushing forward, right? So that's the thing. Of course I would have loved to shoot at some squishies. But the thing is, would I love to shoot squishies when I'm in the center of the enemy team without my team? And I think the answer is no. But I also really thought we should kill this D.Va. Like, I really don't understand why my tank don't just kill her, honestly. She has her ability, yeah, if she pushes her into this wall, we win this, but I don't know, man. They didn't want to go in, so I also didn't want to go in. I still think it's the correct decision. This last shot, this was a waste. D.Va was already full, they didn't resync it, I was just still in the spamming D.Va mode. And this is also, I think, the decisive fight of the map. If we would have gotten this a little bit more value faster, would have won this. How do we lose this? Do not get healed, okay. Would have pushed, no, any target would have won. May without ice block, this should be. I really were not in position to push this May. Yeah, I don't know, if we would have gotten this kill, if my team would have been prepared, we would have won this. But instead what happened is I called out the May, my team half followed, and then we suicided. And that's the risk with callouts in this elo, right? Because some follow, some don't, and they follow awkwardly because they don't have the same information as you have. Basically I baited them into death. Now my wrist is fully isolated. Actually she isn't. But still we lose this. And Genji just cleans up everything behind. Okay. Okay. So, this is a watch review for today. So did we really learn? Kind of every time we went for solo flanks. No, it's actually not true. So, off-angling, so how to say it, kind of, it's good if you know the map so far, that if you're in a choke, you can off-angle if the teammate would take too long otherwise. Like, it might be better to die fast and re-attack than to win slowly in such chokes, maybe. And so actually going there for off-angles in such chokes, for the easy off-angles, and that's the point. Like, these maps sometimes offer easy off-angles, I should take these easy off-angles. So the off-angles in the first point, they were worth it. No, it wasn't first point. Like, exactly this. This off-angle is totally worth it because it's so close and with a mega aspect down there, so it's worth it. But this off-angle, rather than try to go as defensive Sojourn, is totally garbage. Like, if the enemies attack there, this is too awkward, too slow. So this is not worth it anymore. So slight off angles I should implement. And the other thing is kind of keep cooldowns to have my aggression up and use cover to keep my defensiveness up. Cover and distance, I should say. So this might be the three main things to train for today. So it's not really how I played with my tank, but more the things around it that were a little bit awkward. Where I did not execute them correctly, and that's why I did not get the full value from being defensive, because I still took damage because I positioned like an idiot. And I didn't get full value out of my aggression because my flanks were too long and I used cooldowns before and I flanked without cooldowns. So that way the thought about when to use risk and when to use defensiveness is a little bit skewed because both of the topics were executed poorly, basically. So maybe improves both execution, the defensiveness, and also the aggressiveness. Just have them really clean. Like either like plan ahead when you want to use aggression based on the map, and then this situation really plan ahead which offense you can use, and then keep your cooldown for this offense. So like keep your slide, use your open engaging in, try if you can get something, and if not, slide out. Basically. Yeah, I think that's it for today. I think that's something good to train. See you next time. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the show, feel free to share, like, subscribe, and comment. If you have any questions, just write it into the comments. I'm also streaming live on Twitch. You can just ask me live or send me a replay code to watch if you want. I will also review or analyze replay codes from you for free. If you're into that, just throw them into my Discord. There's a Ballerbude channel, which is a German word. Don't be distracted. Ballerbude is a correct channel. Just throw them in and see you next time. Bye bye.